Beautiful shot from the runnerspace drone camera.
Team, and then our girls team.
And we don't have an Engelhartian or a Riley Blade kind of a leader in this one. By the way, Blade's teammate Braylon Combe will run in the girls' team sweepstakes race, but no Riley Blade. She is resting this week like Engelhart. That there's a healthy pack here at the front as they negotiate first part of this course, which we call the Valley Loop. So it looks like Amelia Greenway there on the right from Crescenta Valley, right in the mix. Excellent shot from our Gator camera. This part of the course, the Valley Loop, does have some undulations. Expecting that first mile to be perhaps somewhere in the 5:20 to 5:30 range. And with this separation right now, it looks like it could be in that area. Looks like 235 at 880 yards. So that's 5:10 pace, so that's even quicker than I thought they were running, and it may be quite aggressive. Mentioned when we get to the team sweepstakes, we're going to see Braylon Combe, Millie Bales, Grace Smith, the hot freshman from Claremont. She was the #1 freshman finisher at Woodbridge. And severe separation here. Looks very confident there at the front.
In the turn now, heading to the mile. She has opened up quite a gap over this very strong field. Out quickly here. Making Crum. I like that a lot. That's how the canyon. I like that. It was under second last year here.
Yeah, right. This hill was like one of my favorites. Yeah. Yep.
Like Erica Kirk. Hit it! Chase room, hold right with her.
Yeah. But we drill a lot.
Megan Crum of Temescal Canyon leading by 10 seconds now, an enormous margin from a very legit runner, a 4:49.89 1600 meter runner. She was 6th at the California State meet last year. She was also a 10:27.64 3200 meter runner, but for a lead this big, awfully impressive. So we'll see if the field comes back to her. Nicole Alfred, Rancho Cucamonga second. Caitlin Kenny also in there. Erica Kirk from Vista Murrieta in fourth. Phoebe Bennon from Santa Monica, who we saw last year in this race. She's back and she's in fifth. Cameron Macias, fourth last year, now sixth. Katie Weaver of Helix in seventh. Charlotte Hopkins of Arcadia in eighth. Natalie Conde of Norco in ninth. And Phoebe Kim of Ayala in 10th. Sophia Knuckles of Ventura, 12th right now. I think we're going to see some changes in this leaderboard. But all alone is Megan Crum, and boy, does she look just solid here. Stunning performance. Now, 16:57 was our top time yesterday. So far this cross-country season, Megan Crum was 48th at Woodbridge, but won her other 4 races. But did we expect that she would be this far in front of everybody? 34th at the California State meet in cross-country last year, 6th in the Southern Section Division 1. So definitely a legit character, but to have this sort of a lead on this field is really, really stunning. Meanwhile, on the team side of this individual sweepstakes, Ayala Crescenta Valley in a real tussle. 4 points separate them, and then it's back to Clovis West, Vista Murrieta, and Rancho Bernardo. Phoebe Bennon on that leaderboard from Samo High. She was 44th at Woodbridge, but has won all of her races as well. And last year she was third in this Invitational Division 1 and 2 race. So Bennon moving up, but right now it is really an enormous margin that Megan Crum has. Wow. And now she takes a look back. Remember, she's going to have to scale that Reservoir Hill, which is a tough row to hoe. But look at this margin. It's just enormous. For this individual sweepstakes race, just enormous. And yes, Megan Crum does have excellent credentials, but could have anybody expected this big a lead? I don't know. Wow. Again, 6th at the Cal State meet last year, 4:49.89, but her 3,200 credentials, while good, she was 12th at the Division I prelims last year in the 3,200, 10:27.64, so that's a good time. Boy, oh boy, just taking it to this field. Crum should probably be passing the 2-mile mark in about 11 minutes flat or so. Now she's into the Reservoir Hill part of this course. She is slowing down, you can see that. Legs look a little bit heavier. But still long strides with a decent tempo. That lead is so enormous that she could probably suffer through a bad patch here and still take it home. She gets the benefit of that little downhill. And then there is going to be the uphill on the other side of this straightaway, and perhaps our drone can get a shot of what our gap is here between first and second, because that's going to be telling. And really the moment of truth for Megan Crum is going to be on this uphill on the backside of this Reservoir Hill. 125 started this race, and Megan Crum is solo right now, leading a lot of really high caliber athletes. And now we start with the slide uphill, and the drone trying to pull back and give us a shot at second place, but second place is nowhere to be found. 11:30 through 2 for Crum. So she would have to run 5:27 to beat the time that was set by Abigail Arrington of South Pasadena yesterday in the Division 3, 4, 5 team sweepstakes race. That may be difficult to pull off. Charlotte Hopkins of Arcadia in second, 26 seconds back. Katya Dunajevich, who moved up 13 spots, and you can see Crum taking a look back. Katya Dunajevich and Erica Kirk of Vista Murrieta are together in third with Hopkins. So you're going to see those three come across. Or actually four, because Avery Peck of Long Beach Poly, who moved up 6 spots in that last mile. So those four together, Hopkins, Dunajevich, Kirk, and you can see Peck there in the white. And then it's Caitlin Kenny of Crescenta Valley, Kate Weaver of Helix, and then Ventura's 9th grader, the super 9th grader, Sophie Knuckles in 8th, Natalie Conde of Norco in 9th, and Renee Hasse of Arcadia in 10th. Phoebe Bennon dropped 11 spots in that second mile. She's in 16th. Amelia Greenaway, who we expected a lot more of today, she was 6th here last year. She is also tied for 16th with Bennon. So some roadkill here. How about Cameron Macias? She dropped 16 spots in that last mile. Macias 4th here last year, and she is now 22nd. So this race, a lot of the races have gone according to form. This race has not gone according to form. And Westview, who we expected Caitlin Arciaga to be up there, she may not even have gotten to the starting line here. As here comes our 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th runners ascending the Reservoir Hill, the backside of Reservoir Hill. That's where you kind of feel the loneliness of the long-distance runner, because there are not a lot of spectators on that part of the course. Caitlin Arciaga actually in this race, excuse me, she's in 31st, 10 spots she dropped in mile 2, the young lady that finished 3rd last year and was the leading returnee. So this race has absolutely put some top flight athletes who have not shown up today like we expected them to. And meanwhile, Megan Crum is just kind of waltzing away over here. It's tight on the team standings now between Arcadia and Crescenta Valley. Vista Murrieta and Clovis West in a good battle for 3rd. But there is absolutely nobody near Megan Crum. She had a 26-second margin at the 2 miles split. And from the get-go, just about 880 yards into this race, Crum took off and left everybody behind. Gonna be tough, though. She is unlikely to get faster than that 16:57 that Arrington produced for South Pasadena yesterday. It'll still be a good effort, but you can see she is definitely laboring here. It was such an aggressive pace that she set early on, but that lead is so big that it's unlikely, even with her laboring at this point, that you will see her not finish first in this race. I will say this performance augurs very well for track season for Crum. Very good miler, but to have the strength to produce this kind of performance in 3 miles is really quite impressive. And now she gets into Goff's gauntlet. And so into the gauntlet. Now she can see the stadium. And you can see Hopkins is kind of closing it down a little bit. Crum definitely labored. And are we going to have a wild finish? That's the question here. So here comes the smoke for Crum, but this baby isn't over yet. 300 meters to go. And this is Crum laboring, but she does have, I guess that was a bit of an optical illusion down the, but you can see that lead has been whittled. And it is really tightening up here, really tightening up. For Megan Crum, can she survive the last 200 meters of this race? That's a big question because we have got a fantastic finish here coming. Hopkins coming up big time here. Now 120 meters to go, and it looks like Crum will be pipped after going out so fast and having a 26-second lead through 2 miles. Can Megan Crum? She does not have an answer. She does not have an answer, and here comes Katja Dunajevich. And Katja Dunajevich, who moved up 13 spots from mile 1 to 2, is going to win this race with a stunning last mile. Dunajevich 17:39.3. As the boys' team race goes off, Crum in second, Charlotte Hopkins in third. Wow, what a performance by Dunajevich. And are we going to have surprises like this in this boys' team sweepstakes race? Who knows? Trey Caldwell should be a big favorite here. The Colorado commit from Concord de La Salle. He's already in the lead. Caldwell broke the course record at Crystal Springs this year, undefeated in 3 races. And right up there in the front, he won the Mount SAC individual sweepstakes 1 and 2 race by 9 seconds, now in the team sweepstakes race, and wasting no time going right to the front. Young man is a 8:53.69 3,200 meter runner, 4:15.79 1,600 meter runner, and it looks like Maximo Zavaleta right up there with him. And the 2 co-favorites, well, at least this race going a little bit according to form. So Caldwell and Zavaleta already kind of separating on the boys' race. Now, the time we saw yesterday, the fastest time, Augie Martin St. Francis 15:02, that is likely to go here. And a study in contrast here, Caldwell, much taller than Zavaleta. Big contrast as you can see the peloton coming through. By the way, Ventura's Sophie Knuckles, the 9th grader, ends up finishing 6th. Avery Peck from Long Beach Poly, 5th. Kate Weaver of Helix, 7th. Rena Hasai of Arcadia, 8th. Caitlin Kenny, Crescenta Valley, 9th. And a big move by Hannah Aguirre of Patrick Henry, who moved up 9 spots. By the way, Amelia Greenway, who had dropped so much, moved up 5 spots in the last mile on the girls' race. It's probably still a little bit early to give you preliminary team results on that girls' race. As you can see, Arcadia, Clovis West, and Crescenta Valley all have 4 or 5 across the finish line. The boys in the upper left, they're doing the first of 2 loops, the Valley Loop. As you can see, Phoebe Bennon 19th, a bit of a surprise there. But everybody peaks at different times. Some people coming back from injuries, you just don't necessarily know the condition. But we do know that Caldwell and Zavaleta 1-2. Zavaleta being very patient there. Now, Zavaleta, just to give you an idea, so Caldwell won the individual sweepstakes at Mount Sac last year. Zavaleta had a heartbreaking loss to Brett Ephraim by 1 second in the team sweepstakes. He was the #1 California finisher at the prestigious Woodbridge Classic, one of the Triple Crown of California races. He was 7th overall at Woodbridge, but first California finisher. He was 8th at Clovis, so this is one of those guys that will have run all 3 big California races. That's Maximo Zavaleta I'm talking about, who is in 2nd. Zavaleta was 7th in the California State Cross Country Championships last year, and the young man has 156.50, 800, 408.63, 1600, and 852.51, 3200 meter credentials. Now, Beckman would be the team favorite here. At Clovis, they were first. They won by 14 points. Their top 5 were separated by 37 seconds. Beckman ranked 5th nationally. No superstar on that team, but they pack him in. Martin Luther King ranked 4th nationally, led by Zavaleta, who was in 2nd. They were 2nd at Mount Sac last year. They returned 6 of their top 7. They were 4th in Clovis, the 2nd place team from California behind Beckman. Glendora, 27th nationally. They were 5th at Clovis. Look at Zavaleta going to the left. That's an experienced Mount Sac runner, to be sure. Crescenta Valley, 29th nationally. They were 6th at Clovis. 4 of the top 5 schools in California, 4 of the top 30 schools in the country in this race. And coming up the mile split very, very fast, Caldwell of De La Salle, Wynn of Beckman. So this is Beckman's lead runner. You can see, I believe these may be a little bit off, but so Caldwell, Wynn of Beckman, Zavaleta, Barbary, Antonio of Woodbridge, Schubach of Tribuca Hills, Dylan Flores of Glendora. Now Dylan Flores also a stud, 7th at Clovis, 37th at Woodbridge. So neck and neck here between Caldwell and Wynn of Beckman. Zavaleta in 3rd. So remember, that course record, 15:02. These young men are going to smash that. The team standings, we can't, Miracosta has been credited for first, but their runner is not first. So these team standings are not quite on point. I'm sure that will get adjusted here shortly. So let's focus on what we do know, which is a good battle between Caldwell and Wynn at the front. Zavaleta surprisingly a little bit further behind that group. Wynn was 11th at the Clovis Invitational, the young, shorter of the 2 men. He was the #1 Beckman runner at the Clovis Invitational. And again, Beckman, #5 in the country. They won Clovis by 14 points. And Wynn finished 11th there. Ryan Barris finished 20th. Nathan Hartz finished 22nd. So they had a big 1, 2, 3. Now, ignoring what we have here on the team standings for a moment, because the real leaders are Redondo Union and Beckman. Redondo Union, where the heck do they come from? That's a bit of a surprising result. Meanwhile, at the front here, Caldwell looks so smooth from De La Salle's. And Wynn right there, right on his shoulder, the junior. But Caldwell getting a little bit of separation here on Wynn. And Zavaleta, I believe that's him in 3rd. And we should be seeing a 2-mile split here, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of around 9:30 or 9:40, I should say, probably around 9:40 for Caldwell. Again, we'll get those results sorted, as Alex Wilmarth is not the leader here, and that will obviously affect how these team standings are being tabulated. So really think of Redondo Union and Beckman as kind of your top two teams. So Caldwell now moving into the Reservoir Hill part of the course and moving fast. That 15:02 was not going to last through this race, and Wynn doing a marvelous job hanging in there. Look at Wynn's long strides there for somebody relatively short. But Caldwell has got great purchase off this pist. I mean, he has really got great